Welcome to another episode of Meet the Guest Lecturer. And today I have the great pleasure of having Bruce Adamson here with me. He was here today. Bruce, you were here yesterday and today giving classes on incorporation of children's rights and then on to NHRIs and ICRIs and their role in children's rights. So perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about what went on in the classroom and how those two topics also can connect with one another.
This is my favorite course in the whole world, the Advanced Masters. I think bringing together the kind of academic understanding with a real approach to practice. And the incorporation of the Convention on the Rights of the Child is the most important thing that states can do legislatively to ensure that rights are respected, protected, and fulfilled. And so the conversation with the students about the different ways in which different countries around the world, with all their diversity, have approached that was really fascinating. And then we had some really interesting conversations about how to take that to the next step. And I use Scotland as an example about how we have in 2024 fully and directly incorporated the Convention on the Rights of the Child into our domestic laws. We spoke a little bit around the campaign and some of the challenges within that. And what was really exciting was students thinking about how they could take that back to their own countries or other places they wanted to work to try and really strengthen the legal accountability around these promises that we've made to children to ensure their rights.
Well, Bruce, you've got a lot of experience both in incorporation and in ICRIs and NHRIs. So, but what did you feel that you wanted to impart to the students? What from your own personal experience did you bring?
So being the Children's Commissioner in Scotland was the best job in the world. And what I wanted to impart was the unique nature of these roles that we have as independent children's rights institutions or national human rights institutions, bridging the international legal framework with its domestic delivery. And the great joy that you have with working directly with children and civil society and working with the media and others to affect change to law, policy and practice. And it was wonderful this morning that we were able to bring in colleagues from South Africa, from New Zealand, from Georgia. I think the students got a lot out of that. We had Chilean examples in the room. So I thought that was really wonderful, and that students were able to engage with the different ways in which these national bodies are working with powers, with independence, with public funding to actually make a difference to promote and protect children's rights, and how different that looks all over the world. And one of the great things about the students on this course is they come from all over the world. They bring such different experience. And so it's one of the things I really enjoyed is how much discussion that we had in terms of how to actually affect change.
Yeah, and I was in the classroom, so I can attest to the fact that it was very interesting and a lot of fun, and that the students were moving around and doing practical exercises. So
I've worked with children most of the time, so I'm used to that.
I also want to just mention that we took advantage of you being here by inviting you to our alumni careers evening. And there we were reflecting on a career in children's rights. What would you like to say to the students to take away on that issue?
Yeah, I think that there's real concern at the moment because human rights are under massive pressure and funding's under pressure, and that uncertainty is coming through really, really clearly. I mean, one of the things I said to them is that a career in children's rights and human rights as a human rights defender is never going to be linear. But the fact that they're already taking the step of having come to this place, to Leiden, to this Advanced Masters, with all of the expertise they already have, and then learning what they're learning through this course sets them up really well to affect change wherever they go. But they're probably not going to have these kind of linear jobs for life. I think they'll work in civil society organizations, they'll work in governments, they'll work in private practice, they'll work with corporations, they'll be at the cutting edge of human rights. It's not going to be easy. We're under pressure. But one of the things I said is that actually, because of the real huge challenges that we have in the world at the moment, with conflict, with change, with everything going on, the demand for their skill sets is going up and up and up. the funding available to fund is not going up to meet that. But these are really highly skilled individuals who will never be out of work. They'll always have a place to play, no matter where they take those skills. And what we need to do is make sure that the funding follows that. But that's not something they should worry about. They should think about where they can make the biggest difference.
Well, thanks for leaving those thoughts of realism and hope with our students. I think that's really important for them to take away. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again in another episode of Meet the Visiting Lecturer.